I learned a valuable financial lesson when I was about 12 or 13. The company I was working for called and informed me that my last check that I had sent them had been returned marked insufficient funds. I would need to go to the bank and rectify the situation and then reissue a check to them. I was obviously overdrawn. I had no clue what they were talking about, but I said I would do it. And then I went to find Dad. Dad, what does it mean to be overdrawn? He just laughed at me. He said, Harold, it means you didn't have enough money in the bank to take money out. Oh. You always need to make sure there is more money in the bank than the check that you're writing. Oh. Boy, was I embarrassed. I mean, I could add and subtract. How did this happen? What did Dad think of me? What did my employer think of me? And then I had to deal with the woman at the bank. What did she think of me? And on top of all of this, there was the stiff fines. It was a hard but valuable lesson to learn. I've made sure ever since that I have overdraft protection, just in case. Because it's easy to overdraw, especially in times like these. With financial insecurity, where we're living paycheck to paycheck, if paychecks are coming in at all, where at a moment's notice our employer may say, that's it, you're done, I can't keep the business open. Where expenses are rising and unexpected expenses are popping up at an alarming rate, yeah, it's easy to overdraw. It's even easier to overdraw spiritually and emotionally these days. What with the demands of family and children and work and school, not to mention the circumstances of trying to live through a pandemic in the midst of a nation that's in total upheaval, how easy it is for us just to become worn out, exhausted, trying to function on empty. And to make matters worse, our normal bank of assets that we use to make deposits are unavailable to us these days. I learned a long time ago that I'm a high extrovert. Some might even say high maintenance. When I get tapped out, when I'm running on empty, when I'm exhausted, emotionally, physically, I need a party. The bigger, the better. If not a party, a good church service works well. Lots of singing, lots of hugging. Yeah, lots of people. And if I can't do those things, then some days a trip to Walmart is enough to suffice. Yes, I'm crazy, but you knew that anyway. None of those things are available, or at least they're not available in a healthy sort of way. And so I've had to look to diversify my portfolio of assets with which to make regular deposits with. One of the things I've discovered is that my morning devotional time is non-negotiable. No matter how tired I am when that alarm goes off, I have to get my body out of bed, go down to my studio, and spend that hour before dawn in prayer and meditation. I get plugged in again recharged with God and the world around me. I've had to diversify my time. I do a little scripture reading. I read spiritual works from throughout the centuries and modern authors as well. I include poetry, particularly that which deals with nature. All of that reminds me that I'm not alone, but that I am surrounded by a great company of hosts, and that I am in a world that is much bigger than what I think. I found my study time has also become far more important than it ever has been before. It stimulates me intellectually, whether it's a podcast or a book or a lecture. When I cannot engage in the conversations that normally occurred, this is a new way of keeping me stimulated and alive. Prayer has become much more important to me, not only as a way of connecting with God in constant conversation, but also connecting with my brothers and sisters. The need for prayer today is at a high level, and it is a way for me to remember their lives and their needs, and to keep them always at the front of my attention and my thoughts and my prayer. Nature has become more important as well. And while I cannot always take a walk in the woods, sometimes even the menial encounters with nature have become rewarding and fulfilling. Things like gardening and landscaping, mowing the lawn, even snow shoveling have reminded me of a world that is bigger than I. To watch the birds reminds me that they've kept on going, and so can I. Leisurely reading, creative endeavors like drawing and painting and carving, I've discovered have been new ways to recharge as well as just relaxation. And while I may only get 10, 15, 20 minutes of it at a time, every little deposit helps. One of the things I've also discovered is that I must be patient with myself, because what worked today may not work tomorrow. I may need to find new ways and new deposits. One of the things the last few months has brought to me is an increased level of frustration and anger. I went out and I bought a punching bag. One of the strange things is that I discovered not only is it a great way to work out frustration, but suddenly I'm lamenting with God, reconnecting at a whole new level. And besides, I'm not killing anybody either. All of these things have been learning experiences for me. They have not come easy, and they require a lot of discipline some days to maintain them. But they're important for our emotional and spiritual health, and also for the emotional and spiritual health of those around us. Because if we have nothing left to give in our tank, what are we going to give to them? How will we feed our neighbors? And one quick word to my introverted friends. Please take care of yourselves. You may be enjoying this time, but the toll is high on you too, and it's even more dangerous because it's sneaky. Make sure you keep yourselves at a high level, lest we all get overdrawn. And oh, how embarrassing and painful that can be. I will continue to pray for you in these times. Dona nobis pacem, pacem